All right, so this is a quick look at the dissection of a do-it-yourself website. It's not meant to make fun or poke fun at anybody whatsoever. It's just a way to learn from some of the mistakes that are commonly done by do-it-yourselfers when making your own website. And we totally encourage people to do their own website. Sometimes that's what you got to do to get started and that sort of thing. So let's just take a look at one of the websites that came to us recently from a client that wanted something redone. It was originally done by one of his friends, and which was great. It helped him out. So let's take a look at it a little bit closely. I've changed the name of the business and that sort of thing, but so that we can look at some of the finer points without actually revealing who it actually is. So we'll start from the top and work our way down and kind of see where things we can be improved on and things to watch out for and that sort of thing when you're doing your own website, because there's a lot of website builders and templates and whatever out there that kind of help with the do-it-yourselfers. So there's just a few things to kind of keep an eye on. So we'll start from the top on the way down. You can see that the page has been named just electrical service home, which is fine, except for at the end of the day when you name your pages, you want to give it something with a little more oomph, a little more, not jam pack it full of keywords, but the first thing I would have done was probably state, kind of location. So electrical service, if you're in Victoria, BC or Vancouver, BC. And then I would also put the name of the company in here. So I put Joe's Business. And so there'd be a string of kind of key terms kind of on your homepage. So, that's one thing, to look at it is, right from the get-go is naming your pages appropriately. Okay, starting from the top, it's not bad. It's a pretty relatively clean layout, and you can tell that, that the template came, with some nice images or whatever in the background. And then, it starts to fall apart a little bit as you kind of move further on down the page. The first thing we're going to notice is that this kind of layout is what we call like a fluid width or fluid layout, meaning that as you change the page, it begins to adjust with the width of your browser. However, this one doesn't. As you can see, as we close it up, it does not adjust. And a website that is done properly with a fluid width, as you adjust the width or adjust the width of your browser, it adjusts with it. And the reason for that is people have different size screens. I have a decent wide screen here. Some people have massive screens and some people have tiny screens. So it really depends on where you are. So using a fluid width, it actually should adjust with it. So that's another mistake, just to kind of keep an eye out for. That's why you see some websites, if they're fixed on 960 pixels or maybe 1,000 pixels wide, and so it'll be centered here on the page, and you'll see a lot of bank websites and that sort of thing that have, just very small on one end, because they're trying to accommodate for older browsers, because surprisingly, there are a lot of people out there in the world that don't have new technology, and so especially places like banks, they need to be accessible. So you'll see that it might even take up half the page and sit on the left. So just something to watch out for. It's not right or wrong, just something to keep an eye out for. And again, we jump over to the left here. We got the navigation, pretty straightforward. Now I've taken this site offline so that I can make some changes so that I didn't reveal who the owner is. But so there's nice hovers that come out here. But what you'll notice is actually when you hover over this, not all the pages actually appear in the hover. What ends up happening is that you open up a page and then you'll find some more links that are within there, and there's like a table of contents within there. It's not wrong, but one of the things to always keep in mind, especially when you have very few pages on your website, is that you should be able to navigate to every page from every page, so that a person doesn't have to navigate 10 steps back to find where they're going. However, I mean, obviously, when you have 10,000 pages on your website, it's impossible to navigate to every page from every page. So you want to make sure that you have a relatively clean layout and navigation that's soundly structured. Okay, so now let's take another quick look. Now again, I've changed the logo image out. It's not too far off from what it was before. You can see right here, it looks like it's homemade, which is fine if that's what you got to do. One thing that ends up happening is people end up stretching images. Images, you know, if you want it to be a little bit wider to fill up whatever space, they'll stretch it out one way but not the other way, and so they end up grabbing off one side or off the top and instead of at the corner. Now, making an image larger than it actually is starts to produce kind of a fuzzy look to it, and it's not as crisp and clear and clean. And so the better thing to do is to make your image or your logos or whatever bigger and then shrink them down so that you get kind of a crisper look. Never go up. If you're going to go up, you have to look at vector graphics, and that's a whole other issue that you're opening up. Another thing too is that this has been created on a black background and then it's been pasted on a white background. A JPEG doesn't support transparency, so this doesn't show through. So if you're going to create it, you should try to create it and save it as a PNG so that it can show the transparency through the background. So that's kind of a quick look at that. Another thing too is you see this lots on kind of homemade websites and that sort of thing, is animated GIFs. Animated GIFs are just these flags that are going on, or you might see some little dancing guy or whatever. I mean, we saw those lots back in 1995. We don't see them a lot here in 2011. But some people find that they like them, and they're fancy or whatever, but at the end of the day, it really is a good sign that it's been done by a do-it-yourself or an amateur or that sort of thing. So let's just scroll down here a little bit more. The other thing too is that I see a lot of websites, they start to use logos and stuff of their supporting partners and that sort of thing, and again, because their supporting partners have have a do-it-yourself logo and stuff like that, they don't look very good on the page because they don't support transparency as well. So I tend to, if there is supporting logos, they usually do come in a JPEG with a white background. And so if this website was a blue website, I'd find a little area that I could create like a white box and then put the images in, so that happens. So that helps. The other thing, if we scroll down here to the bottom, you can see that there's another animated GIF that's been stretched out to fit the whole page, and you can see, well, you probably can't tell on your screen there, but because it's the video might not show it, but you can tell it's been stretched along because the granulated kind of look to it. What I also see within here is, there's a lot of use of exclamation marks, not well thought out content. Now, without reading through this content, it's best to focus on a lot of keywords on your homepage. We call it, spider food, so that the Google bots can index your site properly and get the right terms that are, appropriate for your website. So let's just scroll down to the bottom here. I see a lot of this on websites where it's been do-it-yourselfer, is that there's weather on here. Now, this website's for an electrician, and I'm not sure kind of what it has to do with weather. It might have been an app within the theme or whatever the page builder that they use to make it, and they said, oh, let's put the the weather in there. Not really applicable. So unless you're a weather site, unless you're something that has to do with the weather, I'd highly recommend staying away from stuff like that. Even though it's nice to have dynamic content and look at that, there's the weather. I don't go to an electrician's website to take a look at the weather. So probably best to leave it out. Another thing too is hit counters. So there's a nice little hit counter down here, and I haven't seen a lot of these lately. This one came across my desk and I thought it was interesting. Hit counters are quite old. Yeah, okay, I'm the 122nd person to come to the site. Really of no value. I mean, there's great services like Google Analytics that give you some, pretty in-depth data about the visitor's site, who visited your site, what kind of browser they were using, compared to the last month, the previous month, and that sort of thing. What terms they use for in Google to come and get to find you, and so some pretty in-depth analytics or analysis of your website and your web traffic, and hit counter is kind of just not doing it anymore. So there's other ways of doing it, and including a snippet that Google Analytics provides you, you can easily put into a do-it-yourself website page anyways. Now another place too is the search. Search has been placed on the bottom here. There's a reason why most websites have, the business company name and the logo up on the left-hand side, and the navigation either on the left or on the right and across the top, is because that's where you find most of the stuff. And most of the searches you'll find here in the top right-hand corner, but it's hidden down here at the bottom. Most people might not even notice that it's there because it's sitting down on the footer. So the best place to put it is always up in the top. Make sure that you have it in where people most likely to expect it, because if they can't navigate through your site, then it's not going to work for you. And finally, down at the bottom here, you've got some footer information and that sort of thing. Not hard; it's just a little small to read. So that's another error. So the last thing we're going to cover is there's a form here so that people can ask the experts. One of the things, they have first name, last name, address 1, address 2, city, state, postal code, and that sort of thing. People, even though this is not a huge form, it's still, for what it is, ask the experts, it's still rather long. So keep it simple. So you don't need first name, last name, go for the full name. You don't need their full address, you might just need their email. Cut that down. So you have daytime phone number, evening phone number, cell number, one primary phone number, or not even phone number at all if you're just getting an email, something like this. So think about simplifying the forms as much as possible when doing it, so that you don't, what you'll find is that if your form is too long, you just won't have any responses, and so it's just kind of pointless to have it there. Yeah, okay, it's nice and appealing that you can ask, have an ask the experts or contact us form, but if you're asking too much information, or make this information there, but don't make it required, so they're not required. But if you want to grab that information, that's nice, and if they're going to give it up, that's great. Anyways, this is not meant to tear apart this individual that came to us to have the website done. It was just a look of, if you are going to do it yourself, to spend a few moments to think about what you're doing and kind of how it looks to the other person. I know there's a lot of time that's spent just learning how to do it on your own, and then you just want to get it out there. But sometimes it's better to not throw something out there that doesn't show professionalism and that sort of thing for your site. So spend the extra time to do it right, or get it done professionally. So it's really up to you. We totally encourage do-it-yourselfers, so by all means get out there, get your hands dirty and learn and have some fun. Thank you very much for watching.